Kody and Robyn Brown are absolutely evil. They are greedy. They are fake. And this entire story about a backdoor deal is a ruse. Why are they so hellbent on placing Janelle as the bad one against Meri, when in truth, the two bad ones are running a scam, and they're running deflection in order to pit Janelle and Meri against each other so that they don't look at what they're doing. And all of this came to fruition in the tele last night. The problem is that Suki clearly doesn't understand or care to hold any of them accountable or actually know the facts or ask probing questions. She hasn't seen any of the papers. She hasn't done any due research. She's not a writer. She's merely someone that's placating the false story. And we had an entire episode wasted about a false narrative trying to further divide Meri and Janelle, when the truth is, the real villains here are Kody and Robyn. As you saw in the very beginning of this episode, it is Robyn who shows up at the last minute in the spring of 2025. This probably would have happened in March of 2025. And she wants Meri and Janelle to sign an NDA. She wants Meri to hold harmless her for any profits or any sale or any money that she owes to Meri. She wants Meri to waive any legal rights or chance of future litigation. And she also wants Meri to not be able to talk about how this deal went down at the property and how Robyn ripped her off and never paid her back for the proceeds of her home. So, let's talk about it. As I've told you a million times, all of them, Janelle, Kody, and Meri, all signed the documents to transfer the property in January of 2025 and agreed to the sale deal with this buyer. It was Robyn that did not sign until the very end of February of March 2025 to pass the property rights and to agree to the distribution of the property. It was Robyn that was refusing to sign the papers. So during this time period, Janelle is worried about the house not being sold because there's an disagreement on the offer by the buyer. And Robyn is behind the scenes stonewalling this, and she's going to present a false story for why she had a hard time letting go. And this is the first trick. Is when we bought Coyote Pass, it was the dream for the family to be out there. And I was very much like, this is our family, and was very committed and wanted so much for us to be out there. And when I married Kody, I was 1,000% in. It was all about us being together as a family, and I saw us out there, and so it was really hard for me to give up on it, even though everybody else was. Instead of Robyn admitting that she was stonewalling and demanding an NDA and wanting to be held harmless for defrauding Meri, she's framing this as though she's the victim of a broken family with a dream of all uniting on a property and having this compound where they would all live in unity, together. She's framing herself as the victim of the broken family and everyone else but her going on without her, and that she's alone with this dream she had. And within this, she needs to tell you that she's the victim of this family breakup. She did not come into this situation to not be a part of the family. She was all about unity in this family, and she's still so heartbroken that the entire family broke up. It's a way to play the victim. All right, and so she's saying that it's an emotional tie to Coyote Pass, which is simply not true. She was not emotionally tied to this place. She was financially tied to the property, and she didn't want Meri to be paid. She didn't want Meri to be able to talk about the sale. She doesn't want to have to pay Meri back for the earnings that she took from the sale of Kody and Meri's home in Vegas for her other home. And on top of that, she's making this claim about the sale of Coyote Pass after she has moved into the Destiny home. That's $2. $1 million, where she was able to turn the money that Kody improperly took from the sale of the home in Vegas. So the home that they had at Hashneef Trail was dirty. It was using fraudulently gained money from Kody that Kody took when he was a joint tenant with Meri in Vegas. Joint tenants own 50% of the stock. They don't own 100%. And so Meri was 100, which should have been given at least 50% of the earnings of that sale. Instead, Kody took 100% of it and gave it to Robyn. In order to clean their hands, they buy a new home. They put it in a trust, and they use this equity in the sale of the home at Hashneef as the down payment, and the proceeds of that go into the new home, basically wiping Meri and that equity away from the transaction. It's unfair. It would be simply like unjust gain, conversion, fraud. And so there's many claims Meri could have because they are still gaining to this day from that money. Now, Janelle does not at all buy her story. Like, I think that's what she thinks that's the role she has to play. I sometimes think she says what she thinks she should say, cause I don't think she really feels like that. Just feel like there's a lot of like, well, I'm supposed to be all about the family and I'm so sad that it broke up, so I have to play this part. Janelle doesn't buy it and she thinks that Robyn is playing a role that she's playing for Kody, and she's been cast as the beautiful wife that loves the family, is so compassionate about the family, and is the victim of this family breakup because she believes that's what Kody wants her to be. And maybe that's true to a degree, and maybe that is sort of her job. I mean, Robyn the star, right? But I think it's twofold. And I don't think she can even see it. I don't think Janelle and Meri can even tease their way out of the manipulation to see what's happening here. She's playing this part to cover up for what she's done. She's saying she's something she is. And she could be doing this for Kody as well. Who knows? Who knows? She probably does play a part with Kody. She probably doesn't show Kody her whole true side. She probably is conning Kody to a degree and not showing Kody her true self. Because if she showed her true self, she wouldn't be able to be with him. Kody would never be able to be with someone like Robyn if she showed who she really was. Robyn claims she's this person to benefit from what she needs from Kody, and then she plays the victim to the public, so she's not exposed as a con artist and a fraud. Kody and Robyn really are like the same, and I believe the story is created in unison by them. That's why I'm saying I don't think that Kody actually believes this about Robyn. I think it's just the narrative the two of them have built together. So Janelle thinks it's bullcrap that she wanted Coyote Pass, and she couldn't let go. And I agree that's a bullcrap lie. And Kody is still going on and on and on about this secret deal, which again is just a distraction. And we don't get to the real truth until the very end of the episode. And it's where Janelle explains that after nearly 2 months, Robyn presents them with an entire contract, a full document, hold harmless, and a waiver of future legal claims, and then demanding the silence related to that. And they show a clip that wasn't previously in the series this season, and it was that Kody saying he had no legal duty to pay Meri a dime. They didn't owe her any money. He said he's using a loophole, right? And he's doing this deliberately, which tells you this is probably Kody's idea. And Janelle does admit to a degree that it was her lawyer that suggested just push the sale through, but it never happened. It never happened. Jen has an answer that I think is fair. And I'm not saying Janelle is at all at fault here, but I do think that Janelle should have just stuck with the plan to stick with Meri and not have these side talks with Kody. And if that didn't happen, they couldn't have used that as a story to throw her under the bus. Okay, but either way, now Meri can't trust either at all. How is she not able to have her share of the property? How dare they try to do that and go behind her back? Whether whoever started this whole thought process because they both threw each other under the bus. You just watched Janelle say, Kody said it. Kody said Janelle say it. Whoever said it, what they were saying to her face and what they were doing behind her back is exactly why we're where we're at today. It's exactly why she can't trust them. And it's exactly why the relationship wouldn't have worked, because they have no problem totally cutting her out, throwing her under the bus, and letting her just take. So, here's what I'm going to tell you something about. Robyn strategically doesn't sign the document to split the parcels. Kody comes in, and he looks like he's actually being nice, and does the 25-52-25 split. He gets Janelle and Meri to sign on in January of 2025, and then Robyn refuses to sign anything. On the show, Robyn says that she's not going to do this until it's all divided equitably. By January of 2025, it was all split equitably. It was not Meri that was holding anything up. It was Robyn that was unwilling to sign, because Robyn wouldn't sign off on that division. When the buyer entered the deal with them, and the deeds were still the way they were, Meri still only owned one part, a method of one parcel. So, the secret deal would have been omitting that agreement to divide the parcels the way they were. Omitting it, just get rid of it, scrap it, and sell the parcels on the current deeds that they are today. That's the best I can understand that. And with that, Meri would get 1/3 of one lot instead of 25%. Because Robyn refused to sign. But then Robyn frames it like she's holding everything up to make sure that it's fair for Meri, which is absolutely a lie. And she's like, I will be the rock in the way. Right? And this is why Jen is angry, because if that talk happened, it would mean that the sale would be forced not on the agreed upon 25-25-25. It would have been sold on the original titles, giving Meri nothing. The trouble is Meri had lawyers involved, and that was never going to happen. And I'm thinking that when Robyn presents an NDA that's ridiculous, Mary's attorneys read it and say, no way, no way. And Miss Jen here has a point. Doesn't really matter who brought up the for sale idea. Doesn't really matter at all. The talk was had to begin with. And it just shows that even though Janelle was claiming to fight for her, she was telling Kody something different. And in the complex dynamics of polygamy, Janelle's acting like she's still a wife to Kody. She is still acting as though she's thinking about him as the head of the house, him as the head of the family, and going to him. Instead of removing herself and re-reasoning and instead of using the lawyers, she's still trying to think that he's capable of discussion. She still somehow thinks that she can still somehow make Kody and Robyn not be who Kody and Robyn are. It's maybe that she's trying to see the best in them. Maybe she just needs the money, and she did need the money. But the same point is it's a really betrayal to Meri. But again, it's at the end of the day, it didn't happen because Meri stood her ground. Because Meri used her lawyers. And so even though this talk happened, and even though they could have done this, they didn't do it. And the real truth is, it was Robyn holding everything up because she doesn't want anyone talking about that she cheated Meri and spent $100,000 on doll clothes, and she can't pay Meri back because she doesn't have the money. Robyn pops up and says, oh, I'm not going to do it unless you guys sign this confidentiality agreement, and this holds harmless. Meaning, Meri couldn't take any more action for it to get her money back, and that we would all be confidential, we wouldn't talk about this deal. So, Robyn hadn't chimed in at all the entire 6 weeks. What, 2 months? And at the very end, she comes with a finished document for us to sign. So, it felt like a total power play. So, the deal ended. Kody was again you got to talk to Meri. You got to talk to Meri. And Meri was at working through her lawyer. So she calls it a power play for her to show this document, right? And it's a finished one. And Robyn has said nothing and has not been a part of the talk the entire time they've been trying to split this. I mean, Robyn's had 0 talks with anyone for years about Coyote Pass, right? She let Kody do all the talking for her. And it's odd because, she acts like Meri was so abs upset about it and would only talk to them through lawyers. Janelle should have been as equally upset by it, right? She should have been as equally upset that this is what they were going to do. But Janelle has no formal claims for the money that she gave them from her equity because she signed a gift letter. Janelle cannot ask for the money back officially because in order for Kody to use her money from the equity of the sale in Vegas, she literally signed a letter for his lender that it was a gift. And she's already said that. So she has no legal remedy. The only person that has any legal rights is Meri. And apparently it's that time when the deal expires, whatever it was, when it was in February, that she presents this. Robyn doesn't sign off on the property split until March, and then the sale doesn't go through until April. Robyn's the one that's holding up signing off. Meri had already signed off. So, because Meri had not signed off after that deal expires, supposedly that's when the D backdoor deal comes in. But it didn't happen. And now I understand why Meri, when she saw Kody when she was with Kody at the apology tour, why she didn't want to talk to him. 'Cause he had just tried to stop her. He had just tried to screw her out of money. He just tried to strong-arm her into quiet and to not sue them for fraud, unjust enrichment, conversion, whatever, for the taking of the money that they took from the equity, the how he still is benefiting from that money to this day. And it's wild to think that Janelle would even consider doing a backdoor deal. Thank God it didn't happen. And the only thing I will say is that Meri stood standing her ground and using her lawyers is likely what stopped this from happening. And that's why they're mad at her. They're not mad at her for stalling anything. They're mad that they couldn't get her to agree to stay quiet. They're mad that they couldn't get her to agree to not sue them. They're mad that they couldn't get her to agree to never talk about it again and to not reveal their fraud. Meri reacted to this with some sort of hint dropping that they've used NDAs with her in the past. Figure out why. So when they say Meri was stopping it, Meri was stopping it. Damn right I was, because I'm not going to be silent again. There you go. I just said it. I will not be silent anymore. And I don't think that he likes that. And so he is blaming me and he is saying Meri's stopping this because I'm not going to sign a contract that tells me to be quiet. She says she will not be stopped again. And she held up the sale because she wouldn't be silent anymore. So, what is the previous NDA in regards to? Where is it? What's it for? I mean, obviously we don't know. We can't ask about it. The only formal records that exist between Kody and Meri are their divorce petition and their divorce summary. Doesn't say anything about like an NDA or anything of the sort. It doesn't say like we aren't going to speak badly of each other, right? Nothing is said like that at all. So, I want to know, what is this NDA that they pushed her to sign, and for why, and for what, and for who? And you remember for years, Meri kept saying there's more to the story. There's more to the story. And she and people were just like, Meri, what are you saying? And then we would watch Meri just find them and like act like what we see wasn't real. So what is the NDA they had her locked in? And what is it that she cannot talk about? That's what I want to know. How often is this tool being used by him to cover this up? And hear me out on this. Meri is given this NDA by Robyn, who shows up in the last minute. Kody gains from the NDA as much as Robyn would. So, it's Kody and Robyn that are presenting the NDA. It's not just Robyn, it's Kody and Robyn. Robyn has no claim on the marriage property or the assets or any of the money of Meri's. Robyn had no right to that money at all. Robyn's liability is greater than Kody's if in any case, because she still stands as being enriched by the marital property of Kody and Meri. So basically, Robyn stole the marital assets of Meri, and she's now has it as her own. But Kody also did that too. And so this whole ruse about a backdoor deal is to cover up that their theft and also their use of NDAs to keep Meri quiet. And then next week, Robyn's going to try to make it like she couldn't talk to Meri because she's dangerous. And Kody, in this episode, said that Meri would murder him if she talked about Jen. That's stupid. They always paint Meri as unstable, out of control, blah, 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 because she knows the truth. She's literally the truth teller being thrown under the bus, and Robyn is playing the victim, and they literally cheated her, and they are still defrauding her. And they are evil. So tell me what your ideas are in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and click the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, besties.